Hi, welcome to Bike Skills in Your Driveway with Neil. The first thing we're going to need is a bike. Now you also need a helmet because you don't want to try even beginner bike skills without the proper safety equipment. So at least a helmet, and as far as the bike is concerned, you can use any kind of a bike you have. In this case, I'm just using a mountain bike dirt jumper. This bike is built for riding along trails with dirt jumps or riding at the dirt jump park, but it will do just fine for doing some beginner bike skills that involve balance and control and going slowly through cones. So, to begin with, you can use anything, that you have. You can use real cones, you can use a bucket, you can use a skateboard, you can use a beach pail, or you can use pieces of wood or rocks. Anything that you can find around your home, you can use as cones to go around. So, the first thing about riding through cones is that you want to do very slow and controlled turns so that you can try to make it through the cones without knocking them over. Let's try that. Yeah, that was fun. When you make it through the cones without knocking any of them over, it's a good feeling. It's like you achieved the challenge. And it's like if you do knock the cones over, we could make it a little bit easier to start out with, making the turns wider and making it more possible not to hit any of the cones. So in this case, we can go through every second cone. You can either make your cones a lot wider apart, or you can just go through every second one. I'll try going through every second cone, and this is what that looks like. Yeah, that was great. That was fun too. So as you can see, the turns are much wider and it's much easier to keep your balance and not hit any of the cones if you're doing big, wide turns. So when you're going for the harder challenge of turning through each cone individually, then it does help to think about whether it feels good to stand up on your bike, on your pedals, or sit down. Some people might feel more balanced standing up, and others might feel more balanced sitting down. It might depend on your bike. I'll show you what it looks like when you're sitting down. This bike has a really low seat. It's actually easier to stand up, but I will show you a sitting down trial here. There we go, that was fun too. In order to keep my balance and keep my speed the same going around each cone, coming back down the driveway is downhill here. So it's like it needs a little bit more braking, obviously, when you're going down the hill. So that, as I'm going through each turn, I'm feathering on the brake, just touching it a little, like this. I just give it a little hit and a little hit, and it just slows the bike down so that I keep the same speed all the way through. Now if we wanted to increase the difficulty of this challenge, We just need to put the cones closer together. Let's try that. Now that's pretty close together, isn't it? So in this case, this will require using your brake to keep a constant speed around the cones. And I find the front brake works the best for that. You get better control. And as you go through each turn, you need to focus quite hard on keeping your weight and your center of gravity in the middle of the bike as you go through the turn. Just try to feel the balance, and you can move your legs one way or the other to try to keep that balance in the middle. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, you might watch my legs a few times and you might see me move my knees one way or the other, maybe. Oh, those feel really close together, but I did it. I made it through. I didn't knock any over. And if you do knock some over, that's okay. It's like you just set them up again and try again. Or you can make them a little bit further apart to increase the difficulty of the challenge slowly or gradually. So in this case, I put them quite close together. You don't have to put them that close together right away. You can have them further apart. And this is a very good skill and a fun challenge, and it's something that will improve your balance. It will improve your coordination. It will improve your concentration, and it's great fun. Another thing to mention is that when you're doing this, you might have a favorite foot to put forward when you're riding your bike. And so for me, it's my left foot. I like my left foot forward. I don't know if you can see that. My left foot is forward and my right foot is back. Right? This is my starting and my finishing position. This position right here, right? So it's like it gives you going slow like that, and you know, knowing what foot you like to have forward first will help you with your you know, your feeling of balance and your coordination with the bike. The more you do it, the more you practice weaving through the cones, the more you get a feel of the different positions you can put yourself in on the bike. Sometimes when you're balancing and you're turning around the cone, you might end up going around a cone, and when you're turning around, you might move the bike out this way a little bit. So if you push it that way, then the back wheel will more easily clear the cone, like this. As you can, oops, just about crashed. As you can see there, when I was going around the cone, I pushed this arm from turning right, I pushed this arm a little bit forward to move the bike a little bit further, the upper part of the bike, then we'll move a little bit further out around the cone, and I can have my body, the center of gravity on this side of the bike and still be balanced. So that's a little bit more advanced, But that is the first skill. If you practice that a lot and get good at going slow, balanced, and controlled, you'll be ready to move on to other skills. I would say the next skill that we could look at working on would be called a track stand. And to do a track stand is just getting into your bike riding position. So figure out which foot you like having forward. For me, it's the left foot, right? And point the front wheel up a little slope. So in this case, my driveway goes up. So I'm going to point this wheel up the driveway. And I get on the bike, and using my front brake, I can roll the bike back and forth. I roll it forward, and I put the brake on, let the brake off, roll it back. And then with my pedal, I roll it forward again, put the brake on, let the brake off, and it rolls back. So this is a track stand, and the idea is to balance roughly in one spot for as long as you can. Let's give that a try. Now you see I can roll forward, put the brake on, and roll back. Roll forward, brake on, roll back. And I can even just find a really nice balanced position. Now I put a little bit of pressure on the pedal, on my front foot, in this case my left foot. On my left foot, a little bit of pressure on the pedal, and I can find that I can roll that front tire back and forth on the driveway in one spot. So once you find that balanced position, you can just rock your bike back and forth a little bit in that one spot and be balanced in that position for quite a long time. Once you get good, it takes lots of practice. So if you're going to try that one, don't get frustrated. When you're starting to learn that one, you usually fall over quite a bit. Like it's kind of like, whoa. Right, and my front foot is, my left foot is forward, and the front wheel is turned to the right. So if my right foot was forward, I would turn it the other way. Right, but my left foot is forward, so I turn the front wheel this way a little bit. Okay? And that really helps for going through cones. So, yeah, so that's the skill of balance and controlling your bike through a series of cones. First wide apart, then put closer together to increase the challenge. I encourage anyone who is interested to try it, and you'll find that it takes a lot of concentration, and it'll increase your coordination and your balance, and you'll have a lot of fun. So this is my first episode of Bike Skills in Your Driveway with Neil. Thanks for watching. See you next time.